This episode visits some of our best friends and some of the experiences and journeys and adventures we've had with these people.
We're in Durango, Colorado, and we have just moved into the 2021 year after the 2020 pandemic.
The world of running and my world of being a professional athlete has completely changed. And what I do, and what I'm thinking about, how I race, how I train, how I interact with other people, it's a completely different game.
I live in a place where my surrounding area is like 2 hours. I could go and race and still be local and keep things safe. But it afforded this opportunity to just really focus on getting back to my fitness and really building a good base that I will then carry into 2021.
This year there was a lot of virtual races, and being able to go do something fun and be able to help, bring some goodness to organizations and businesses that needed that help.
That was one way we still, tried to stay connected and our love with ultra running with the world.
Living here in the cabin in Durango, I'm at 8,100 feet. I'm in the mountains, and I'm about 25 minutes away from a small town. Some of my peers in other places, in Chamonix or in London, in Switzerland, my friends weren't allowed to go and do things that they normally could.
Run around the world right now is learning how to adapt. We got to sit down and catch up with people who we've shared adventures with.
Where are you right now?
Right now I'm in a small hotel room in Earls Court in the middle of London, which is currently just been raised to level or tier 5, which is the highest lockdown they've ever had here. So,
Wow.
You basically can't go anywhere, huh?
So at this stage you can still go out and train and run, but only in like your area.
We're just really lucky where we live because we could be outside, we could run. I could, even in our worst lockdown, could still drive like 45 minutes and be in the middle of nowhere. And so it's so interesting to follow you and like a lot of other people like in France.
I knew Ian through social media and his incredible story of his transformation in his life, and then also that he was a fantastic runner. But to really pinpoint when I got to know Ian is in Ultra X, Mexico. For an entire week, racing across the Copper Canyons, and while he's all optimistic and the greatest guy in the world, you could see that he had a hard time.
You had COVID. You had it. So what was that like?
In Brazil, I don't really know how I got it. I think I ran a 35k run, and I came back and I thought, man, I feel tired, but I thought it was the heat. And I'd done sort of a bit of mileage that week. I woke up the next morning and I was just really tired. So I thought, I'd better take a rest day. It's something not right. By the end of the day, I had a fever, about 39 degrees.
It's like 100, it's a lot.
And I really bad fatigue. I could barely just lift my arm up to pick up a bottle of water. It just nothing. And that was in the course of from the morning to the evening. So I thought, okay, this isn't good, probably is COVID. So organized a test for the next day, waited for the results. It takes a couple of days, but sort of within that 3 to 4 day period, got quite a lot sicker and got the result positive. Went into the hospital. They did some lung scans, and they found my lungs were about 25% infected with the COVID pneumonia. Put me on a drip there, did some more tests and said, look, you're quite good in other areas. Go home. If you know better, within a few days, give us a call. So, I went back to where I was staying, and then I started to feel a little better the next day. And then it's like round 2. It's like coming out again, and COVID was like, my immune system was super low, compromised, and it hit me really hard. And within about 2 to 3 days, I could barely breathe. So went back into hospital and They did another scan, and it was more than 50% full, my lungs, with the COVID pneumonia.
I remember talking to you after the first week, and you're like, "Yeah, it's been rough, but I'm getting better." And then I saw the picture of you in the hospital bed, and I was just like, "Oh, Ian, that's tough, man."
No, in total, I think it was about 18 to 19 days.
Wow,
And then,
it's almost
like,
3 weeks.
really,
Yeah, and then I went to the COVID ward in the hospital there, and I was there for 7 days on a drip and oxygen and that. But within about 4 days, I'd turned the corner. Of course, it's in Brazil, so everyone speaks Portuguese. No one speaks English, even most of the hospital staff. So you're sort of alone, no visitors, no outside communication.
I couldn't imagine being in his shoes and being in another country.
Being sick and unable to communicate with people.
Basically, for 7 days, no one spoke English to me, and I couldn't really communicate much with the outside world.
Yeah.
Wow.
true.
I don't think I would have survived like you. I think I would have been crying every day, oh.
You're strong, man. I'm
Yeah.
so proud of you.
Oh, dude, I mean, it's not my first time in hospitals.
You had
a lot of stuff.
You had some stories.
And I somehow doubt it's going to be my last. So,
But it is what it is.
You're so strong, man. You could do it. It made me scared, and it made me sad that hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people and millions of people are battling a true pandemic disease.
Cannot train properly, I'm tired. I don't have a lot of time. So I said, okay, it's a COVID year, and I have the second kid, so don't stress yourself. Just do what you can do.
Diego and I have known each other for a while in one of the hardest races of my life and one of the hardest races of his life. Fairly early in the race, we ended up running together for the duration of the race, and we finished together in a tie. We created a special bond that will last forever. Tell us about your big run. How did that go, man?
I mean, it's very long. I mean, it was 390K. So it was a wonderful adventure because it was with close friends, with some guys of the community in Switzerland, even in France. They came. It was in the summer. COVID was a bit less present here in Europe. I got a lot of emotions sharing with people with me, and at the end it was really hard. The last 20K, I mean, were one of the hardest experience in my trail running. You learn a lot about yourself as well with these projects. Now, I mean, 100K, 100 miles, we know these distances. We raced a couple of times. Double this distance is something new. You open new perspectives.
I'm happy for him, and I could feel that his year was an absolute success and hit. It was good to see that. It was good to see the upside.
The third person that we got to sit down with was Knox.
It was a weird day we spent together.
It was scary. We were at ground zero of the American pandemic in New York City the week that things just went off.
We knew vaguely what was happening. We spoke about it on our run.
We went 28 miles all through New York City. And it was amazing, and you never would have guessed that we were on the brink of just absolute chaos. You're now in LA. What's the journey been like?
I already had a flight to Mexico for Friday. Just kind of stayed there through the end of July. Just kind of in Culiacan, Mexico.
Were you able to run, and what was the pandemic like there, man? Was it tough or?
I have to say, I love running, and so I'm not gonna quit running, but it was tricky. I was doing maintenance mileage.
So do you miss New York, or is it just what is that like? Because I just feel like so many people that were living there have just picked up and left. Like everyone just feels like they're just
Yeah.
leaving. So like, what's that feel like for you and like your family and like?
Man, I definitely miss New York, but you can't plan on the things you're gonna miss. It's unexpected, you know. So, you know, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but it's not about like I miss this person or that person. Sorry, y'all. But you know, you got to be honest. You do miss pizza.
Yeah, I've heard that.
On a running level, it's incredible. There's this like 200-acre park a mile and a half from my house. Kenneth Hahn recreation area has like trails. It's like hard-packed dirt trails, piled rolling, elevation, topographical changes. And so just before I got on with y'all, I just did 10 miles on trails at sunset, you know? So I'm able to, I could run on trails like every day if I wanted to. And that's not touching a track, that's not touching a road, that's not touching the beach. So it's really kind of incredible to be situated right here in LA, in this kind of LA.
It was fun to talk to him and catch up with him because he's so positive, really funny, and just you know, diving into new experiences.
I would have never ever guessed that our lives could have changed as much as they did.
It was so good to talk to you.
Okay, so
Let's commit to making plans. It's January. If we knew anything from last year, let's set some energetic intentions. Let's really set some intentions to see each other in the first half of this year, for sure.
That'd be so awesome.
Cool, man.
I love it. I love you guys very much.
You don't have to travel to China, to the ends of the world, you know, to Ushuaia to find adventure.
That value has really hit home, and I look forward to more runs from my home, from my cabin.
There's adventure everywhere, even if it's your backyard.